Before we get started with this video, I just wanted to mention that I have just finished several natal chart readings and there are more slots available. And if you'd like a reading, then go ahead and send me an email or use the link in the description to my website, especially if this video resonates and you enjoy my videos, then you will also enjoy the readings. With that being said, today we're talking about Venus in Scorpio. This is your seductive appeal if you have Venus in Scorpio. Venus represents charm, beauty, and attractiveness. And when you have Venus in Scorpio, this indicates that you are desirable. That's what makes you attractive. Oftentimes this manifests through sex appeal or some sort of mysterious or enigmatic aura that attracts people to you. And, there's just something that can't be explained about you that's just appealing. You just have sex appeal if you have Venus in Scorpio. In general, you are desirable and you appeal to others' psychology, their core desires. You like to be needed because Scorpio is about needs. And it can be about obsessions as well. In love, because Venus represents love, having it in Scorpio shows that you do not offer so much as emotional appeal, initially gaining the attention of your subjects through calculation, drama, and clever manipulations, sometimes the occasional act of neglect and disrespect. In love, you have deep needs and are somewhat obsessive. You'd like to be one with someone else, and in love, you only feel fulfilled when your partner gives to you as easily as they would give to themselves, when you have access to all of them, and more specifically to what they have. Scorpio represents the possessions of others, whether that be their body or their bank account. You get noticeably offended when they don't offer you such privileges, even feeling unloved. And this is childishly endearing and somewhat seductive. Surprised, they let their guard down. In love, you often mix finances and possessions, and you involve yourself deeply with others. Sometimes you neglect or forget your own worth and autonomy, though, in the process. Venus rules the opposing sign, which is Taurus. Interdependence gives you security, and your willingness to take and to be indebted to others is attractive and makes you relatable. It is bold, even. Venus represents in our charts what makes us relatable because it rules the 7th house. Your eagerness to involve yourself deeply with others offers a lot of emotional appeal, even to the most guarded of people, which the outside world cannot fulfill. And others get attached to you as a result of investing so much into you, and because they feel you must surely love them in return. They begin to put you above themselves or become dangerously attached. You like to have a healthy amount of control over your partner's psychology, asking them to make sacrifices on your behalf. Your relationships are deep and transformative. The endings are never trivial. Some celebrities that have Venus in Scorpio are Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, Drake, Zac Efron, Usher, Joe Biden, Serena Williams, Avril Lavigne, Winona Ryder, Sia Furler, Jodie Foster, Bette Midler. Now let's talk about what this placement means through each of the houses. If Venus in Scorpio is in your 1st house, this shows that your appearance is desirable and is what makes you attractive, as well as your personality and perhaps your physique as well. The 1st house rules the body. Venus is about beauty and Scorpio is about sexuality and seduction. And perhaps the way that you carry yourself or present yourself carries a lot of appeal and might convey emotional depth too, because Scorpio is a water sign. So it represents emotions and symbolism. So you appear to have much more depth than average, and people project their fantasies or their needs or their desires onto you in love. They feel like you would be the perfect fit to fulfill them. If Venus and Scorpio is in your 2nd house, this is about qualities that you possess being desirable. Scorpio rules the values and the psychology of other people. So when it is in your second house, which is about possessions and is about talents and worth, this shows that what you have is something that other people want, and you possess some sort of desirable or addictive qualities that when they lose you, energetically, it feels like they are losing something tangible. The second house is about material things. So you offer a lot to others in a tangible way when you have Venus in your second house. At least that's how it's felt by others. If you have Venus in Scorpio in the third house, this indicates that your communication style is seductive or makes you desirable. You are quite persuasive, knowing just what words to say to others, and you know how to appeal to other people's psychology using your words. If you have Venus and Scorpio in the fourth house, this placement shows that in love, and even outside of love in some cases, you are irresistibly memorable. The fourth house rules memory, and people get attached to you. You have a healing magnetism about yourself that solves their problems. They feel like you're the solution to their problems a lot. And Venus in the fourth house shows somebody that's quite caring and that is a natural nurturer. So having it in Venus and Scorpio in the fourth house shows that you were the most caring or loving that they will ever have. So this keeps people coming back to you. Venus and Scorpio in the fifth house shows that people want to serve you, because the fifth house is about ego, validation, and importance. And it shows how we stand out or how we shine in the world, because it rules Leo. And having Venus in Scorpio here shows that you have an entitling presence. You have a commanding and entitling presence. And it is graceful and radiates outwards. And part of what makes you attractive may be the sexual ways that you attract attention to yourself. Maybe the way that you dress is suggestive or appealing in some ways, for example. Or it could be your charisma. But generally speaking, men or women get addicted to giving you what you want and wanting to be your slave. People simp after you. This placement, as I was saying earlier, shows that you attract sexual attention, sometimes purposefully, and you are guilty for loving the validation that such obsession gets you. Sixth house of Venus in Scorpio shows that you are attentive and observant. That's what makes you charming or relatable. And Scorpio is about people's desires or psychology, and the sixth house is about details and observation. And generally speaking, those with planets in the sixth house are very good at reading others. And you're really good at reading other people's needs. Also, Scorpio is about secrets. And so having Venus in the sixth house, which is a house ruled by Mercury, and it's about information, shows that you attract a lot of information from others. Others open up to you quite easily, and that's what makes you attractive. Also, you are a good conversationalist, and sometimes that just comes from you being a great listener, and people just end up spilling their life stories and insecurities and desires to you, and in the process they inevitably get attached to you. So another trait of having it in the sixth house shows that you're somebody that's easy to talk to and easy to talk to about their secrets. So next, this leads us to the seventh house. With Venus in Scorpio in the seventh house, this shows that you are charming and have sex appeal. You are able to create win-win situations with others. because the 7th house is about agreements and partnerships and win-win situations. In fact, your appeal is towards mutual fulfillment. You are able to play towards others' greeds and desires. You are a complement towards such things. And Venus in the 7th house shows that others feel better in your presence. Like, you make other people feel good about themselves and their desires in this case, because Venus is in Scorpio. So a lot of times through you, people feel like they can get their desires met, or like you make them feel good about what they want. A lot of times through creating a win-win situation or proposing something towards mutual fulfillment. So people enjoy this presence, and whenever they're not in your presence, they lose this feeling of power or of mutual fulfillment. And also what makes you attractive is your subtle flattery of others and your perfectly calculated reactions to what they say, to what they do. That's the charm of Venus in the 7th house, is that they know how to relate and respond towards others. And Venus is about value, so in the 7th house, it shows that you increase the value of other people when you're in their presence, or they feel like more confident or better about themselves because of your charm and your flattery, and because you're just relatable, so they want you around them. And anyways, this takes us to the 8th house, placement of Venus in Scorpio. So if you have Venus and Scorpio in the 8th house, your mystery, enigma, and emotional side is attractive. You can be a bit controlling and obsessive in relationships, but how deeply you care is what makes you attractive. 9th house, Venus in Scorpio. You are generous and carefree in your love style and sexuality. You are experienced in love, having experienced all depth scenarios. Due to your open aura, men or women may feel that they can easily have you at first, but when you just as easily detach, it is them that end up being hopelessly obsessed, because the 9th house is about carefreeness and detachment. So this is a trait that makes people obsessed about you, or that they fear. If you have Venus in Scorpio in the 10th house, your mysterious image and reputation gives you sex appeal and makes you desirable. You tend to be more private about your dealings and lifestyle, but somehow this makes you more romantically attractive. Sometimes you are strategic, only posting on social media what will appeal towards others. People always consider what you are busy doing when away from your presence. You seem unusually important in romance, and certain people feel that if they beg enough for your attention, that maybe they'll have a chance. Others are heartbroken. You will inevitably attract envy and competition when you have this placement. Only those that can contribute to this image of yours with their own status and success stand a chance with you and pique your interest. With this placement, your love life will contribute to your reputation, success, and popularity as well, because people are always wondering about your relationship status and who you are sleeping with when you have Venus in Scorpio in the 10th house. Unfortunately, this placement shows you are a pleasure to gossip about. 11th house, Venus in Scorpio placement shows that you are needed by friends or by the groups that you are a part of. You are influential and important as a person, so you attract connections. Since you are well connected, this gives you value in romance. You have options. People have often gone through friends, DMs, or the internet, or friends of friends to get to you. The 11th house is about networking and friends. Finally, we have the 12th house. When you have Venus and Scorpio in the 12th house, this shows that you have an open and seductive aura. You easily receive help and support. You are carefree and vulnerable. The 12th house is universal in its meanings. So it shows people that have universal appeal, and they are able to appeal to any type of person's desires or love needs and psychology. So that is Venus in Scorpio through each of the houses. With that being said, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to this channel to see your other placements when they come out. But that is all for now. I will talk to you guys sometime soon.